Hello, everybody. Welcome to Self Cell Care, and this is Reverend Jody Susan, and I'm so excited to have my two amazing guests. I call them the dynamic duo because when you see them, they kind of light the room, the world on fire with their amazing energy. I want to share a quick story. So the three of us met. Uh, Armando and Anita Ortega, and they are with Zero Energy Development. And we met at a David Meltzer event, and we actually sat at the same table and barely spoke a word because it was so electric. We were all so excited with everybody we were meeting. We actually didn't get a chance to really sit and connect, but God had a plan because maybe it was a week, 2 weeks, not sure later, Armando says to me as I'm walking down the stairs at church, "Didn't I meet you at David Meltzer's event?" Oh. So because we didn't do the work we were supposed to do at the David Meltzer VIP event, God said, "No worries, we can do a do-over." So here we go. Here's the do-over with the dynamic duo who's here to reframe homes, right? I'm reframing mental health. They're reframing how we live in our homes because we need to have healthy homes. And so it's my absolute pleasure and gift to be able to present to you Anita and Armando Ortega. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. Hi.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see you and be here.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you guys here.
We're
Isn't that
honored.
funny? You remember that at the church, Armando goes,
100%.
1,000%.
It was
yes.
like, wait, I know you. I've seen you. You're in my vision here. I'm supposed to meet you. And then it was like, boom, instant connection.
Yes.
yeah. It's funny.
I was like, we're supposed to talk at that table, but God had a plan.
Right, he did. And, there was so much going on, those David Meltzer VIP events. There's so many amazing people. So let me just do a shout out for David.
Yes.
If you are looking for a community that drives action, authenticity, and consistency, you want to join his group, his private networking group. So, but there's his shout out. Let's talk about you.
Excellent. We love David Meltzer.
We love him and his people.
I love David Meltzer. He's a gift. He's a gift.
Yes,
And my best friend when I was a child, her last name is Meltzer.
Meltzer.
Wow.
There's a connection.
There's a connection right
Well,
there.
I thought that they were related. I asked him when I first met him last year in September. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
Well-
so we're going up on a year of knowing each other. So let's talk about. So you guys are creating a development, right? And do I understand correctly? 64 units, and you've picked out the land, or?
Yes.
Okay. And we're focused on healthy homes, and healthy homes means it doesn't have toxins in it. And I'm truncating for the moment. We'll do a deeper dive, but it doesn't have toxic chemicals in it, and it's sustainable. It's not using things that we don't need to use. But my real question to you is, why are you doing this? Because I know why I do it, but why do you?
I think it's a purpose and a legacy that we must live for and die for. I think my biggest way of living is, if we're going to live, it has to have a purpose and a meaning. Ultimately, it was God sent, because we've been praying for an opportunity to do something that was impactful and that would actually be transformative for communities. And we have been called to transform communities always. And this is just the way that God presented itself to us to be able to do it. So we do believe this is a divine opportunity for us, and giving back and adding value to people, which is what our company is all about. So that's why we do it, because we love what we do and we believe exactly in what we're doing 100%.
We have a saying of, from for the people, from the people to the people.
Hmm.
Right. And so what, I mean, when did you learn, like for me, let me bring us back, even Stephen, when did you learn that there was a problem with homes, that people were getting sick in their homes because of their homes?
I think most people know this by now that houses are not healthy. And if you haven't heard this before, anybody that's listening to this, houses are not built for health. They're not built with the thought behind how healthy this house can be. And that's something that we have noticed. And my partner, precisely, Bernard Ostra, he is the founder and the visionary
Visionary.
behind
Mhm.
Zero Energy Development's origin.
Wow.
So
Wow.
his desire, he has European descent, and he recognized the values that are being used in Europe, and that we're not adopting those. Since he was young, he grew up in construction, and he noticed that construction has not changed when he went to buy a house in 2020 when the pandemic was happening. And that basically opened his eyes. It's like, man, if construction has not happened, but there's actually demands for building at a higher code at 2030, he says we should build these now.
Mhm.
So I said, well, if you want to build them now, count me in, count us in. We are the dynamic duo, and we want to make this
We'll
a
make it
reality.
happen.
Yeah, so this is a reality because we dreamt this together, we saw the need, and we care to do something that's impactful in the world.
So you think that, first of all, that's amazing, and exciting. And you're right. In Europe, actually, in every place of the world outside of the United States, they understand because even, the United States approves poison for consumption, and this show is for entertainment purposes only. Uh,
Yeah,
Exactly.
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 Well,
so
you have to go through, right?
yeah, yeah. So let me just say this. Because I think that people need to understand. I don't think that people here understand as much as you think that they do. I'm learning that they don't, meaning that they don't know that the wood floors, or the fake wood floors, are made with formaldehyde, right? They don't know that that's gassing off and what that's doing to their lung health, right? What are some of the things that you would like to talk about that are harmful to human DNA?
Well,
Mm.
we focus 100% on health. We stay away from anything that is, like you mentioning, off gassing, and
Toxin.
are toxic for us in the water contaminants, off plastics that are microplastics that are being
Hmm.
released right now. People are ignoring these things, so we are carefully notating all these things and measuring how well these things can be done. So for our water filtration, air
Air
filtration,
filtration.
our
Hmm.
quality of air is measured in a different way than just any other home. So it's all about health. It's all about conscious building, impact, community impact building, because it extends not just in the house. The beautiful part about our vision, it's the community, not just the house, but the communities being built. They're all with permaculture, agriculture that it's promoting the way that nature intended for the landscape to be.
To be.
So it's a
Right. So
wholesome.
tell me about the air quality, you know, second grade me, because I don't know really what's going on. I mean, I know some of what's going on, but tell me, you talk about air purifying.
Yes.
Hmm.
So we have our
Our
houses
homes
are
will be
special.
sealed.
Yeah. So this is a very interesting way of building houses, which is they're not like the typical homes where they have like a 4 foot by 4 foot window open, and air and energy is escaping most people's houses at that degree. Our houses are sealed 100%, and this sealing, it's actually a third party from that gets, for us to get this certification. Let me backtrack for a moment. For us to get a certification that our houses are super efficient, they have to pass a test from the government. That that's done by a third party administrator that presents a blower literally to the houses to see how good they're
They're
sealed.
sealed.
What this does, it allows you to filter the air inside of the house 100%. So the air that's coming in and out of the house is 100% measured and also filtered. You can quantify the quantity of CO2s and the way the oxygen is performing in different areas of the house by having these type of technology in your house.
Nice. And we talked at length with our friend Owen about water, right?
Yes, most
And
definitely.
you want to share with people why the water is a problem or what you see as a problem with the water?
Almost, most certainly. Owen is very dear to my heart because when I heard his
His
story
testimony.
and his testimony, it broke my heart. But basically, how impactful it can be, even in the growth of a baby, that water contaminants can affect us in ways we do not know. And the way that we are right now looking at filtering water at all levels in the house, so not just the water that you use for cooking, but also the water coming out of different spigots, including your shower, so that the water touching your skin, it's actually filtered water. It's not just water that is
Correct.
not filtered. So we consider filtering the water in all
Throughout.
stages, even for your dog, even for your lawn.
Mhm.
This is
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean,
yeah. So we don't think about it, right?
Yeah, we don't think about it because we just think of water as one thing, as just you're just drinking water. But we're cooking with it. We're bathing with it. Our skin is our biggest organ. It's absorbing those toxins if you don't have that water filtration throughout your whole home. So that's why our homes, as a standard, will come with water filtration throughout the whole home as a standard because we need to get this out to families.
right. And it
Air
shouldn't be
filtration throughout
optional,
the whole home.
right? I like that you say it's a standard. This should never be optional. Right?
Correct.
Correct.
That's why they're coming as a standard. This
Yeah.
is
One
what
of the cool things that we're doing, because as you know, I work with Owen, is so they'll get their water filtration system in the home, delivered with the home. And so that they don't have a big bill to replace the filters every year, they pay a small monthly fee. And then, like clockwork, you have once a year, the guy comes out, switches out the tanks. And to switch out the tanks, it's probably, I mean, it's like, 10 minutes, right? Because the way he designed his water filtration system, it takes 10 minutes to switch it out. And I know that there's a lot of plumbers out there because I've been in the water. You may not know this. I've been in the water business since I was disabled. So when I became disabled, the first thing I changed was my water, right? And when I had the wrong water filter, all my symptoms came back. Like when I was showering in the wrong water filter after being disabled. And not, well, I'm sorry, I got off of disability. Sorry, I got a little off track there. But the point is that people are symptomatic and they don't really understand why they're symptomatic. They keep on going back to their doctor for a solution. And time again, I keep on hearing from these doctors, not from the doctors, from the patients, right? My doctor doesn't have a solution. How can he not have a solution? I'm like, because they're not trained,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if you have an MD, they are not trained in natural health. They don't really understand. They are trained in, for this show is entertainment purposes only, they are trained in poison deployment. But to their credit, okay, and sending them grace, when they chose to go to medical school, they had the intention to help save lives, and they did not know, and they got fooled too. And what I've been witnessing, and I think you've been witnessing as well, is that these doctors, the good ones, when they saw the truth, they flipped and they said, no, we're not going to do this anymore. We're going to do it this way.
Hmm.
Mm.
I think we're seeing a shift, a paradigm shift in many areas of our lives right now. With the advent of technology, I believe that medicine is one of the ones that will be transformed the most because of understanding things that we did not understand. And we're addressing that in the house with, the way we see it is houses have to be your most healthiest place that you should be
Mm-hmm.
in. And right now, our houses are toxic, and nobody's talking about it because nobody's regulating that. We, as a developer, we are understanding that it has to be built to a higher standard, and there's other developers that are understanding this, and they're starting to slowly change some things. We're giving you a full package from the beginning. Our houses are going to have everything, and we believe that everything that's being built has to be built that way. It is time that we change those things, and that time is now.
That's right.
Right, because, and it's going to be very interesting. I think the dynamic, and I'm actually getting this as a download as we speak. The money that people spend every day is going to shift from doctors to investing in themselves, because the home needs to be sacred space, right?
Absolutely.
People, I think, are now starting to learn what I learned in 2014. So, what, 11 years ago, which seems longer than that, but it's a very short time when you consider the fact that I'm turning 62. And that I really don't flinch when it comes to spending money on health related items.
It's an investment that you're doing for yourself. So this is exactly it. We're at home the majority of the time. Our children are home. There's parents homeschooling children, which means they're in school at home. Um, we're working from home as you are, as we are. We work from home. So, the majority of our time is spent at home. So we need to be conscientious of making sure that where we're living, working from, and teaching our children is a healthy place.
Right. And so, like, a lot of people are homeschooling their children.
Correct.
100%.
So, um, how about I don't know if you know all this end of it, and if you don't, I'm happy to speak to it. Are you aware of um, what these toxins are doing to the brain of our children and our, really, of everybody, but the people who are most affected are the kids, and then of course our elderly. um, of course I was 50. Well, I was affected day one, but anyway.
Yeah, we've
That
heard.
kind of breaks up my statement, but you want to expect what it's do you want to share what it's doing to our community?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of horror stories being heard from different people. I don't know that I have something that I want to highlight specifically, other than that we know that we are the sickest in humanity that we've ever been.
Hmm.
And we have supposedly the highest medicine
Medicine.
and the highest knowledge, and there's something that it's being neglected, and sometimes it's right there in front of your face. And this is something that we believe we're addressing, and we're fixing that problem by making sure that your house, your water, your air, the place that you live in, it's not only healthy, it's also sustainable, efficient for you, and able to bring power and electricity. Even if the grid goes down, you're capable of being off grid. These are important things that people are looking for
Hmm.
nowadays. And so we want to address them in our communities. Every community that we build will have a lot of conscious behind it, where we're considering all the factors that involve our human interaction and our human value, being the sanctuary that we are, the temple of the spirit, right?
Exactly.
To make sure that we are taking care of ourselves in the proper way.
Amen to that. Amen to that. Yeah. So so I'm going to give a little list.
Please do. We got to educate people. This is important.
Yeah.
Okay, so my functional food program teaches all about this, by the way. It has a section about healthy homes, okay, because of all the things that you mentioned, right? And let's start with the paint. Um, you know, heck, I don't know the chemicals that are in there, but I know that I would have an immediate asthma attack. It was back in the 1990s, mid 1990s. I was launching the debit card program for the Chicagoland area at that time. And my employer, Cash Station, they were a great company, great people, but they went to go paint the office. And I came in and had an asthma attack. Now, they didn't know, neither did I. But I mean, the point is there was stuff in there that's really bad for your lung health
Mm.
in the paint. Now, today they make really healthy paints. I'm just going to tell you. And we use those paints. Um, Secondly is the carpeting. The carpeting has formaldehyde in it. It has forever chemicals in it. And so, like, I have two beautiful parrots, and they get themselves into trouble. I'm just gonna say, and they're nipping away at the rug. Well, what do you think they're ingesting? So your pets are being impacted. Whether you have a cat, a dog, a bird, a squirrel. I got the outside birds or
Hmm.
animals too. So that those are just two issues. One of the issues that Owen Boyd had shared with me, and I don't know, I think it was at another time, the refrigerator filters. People think that's filtered water, and I'm here to tell you it's not. So the what gets stuck behind the water lines in the water lines is the fungi and bacteria, and like if that wasn't enough to stop you from drinking the water from the refrigerator or the ice cubes, I want to tell you they're only usually taking out two or three contaminants. And in Georgia alone, we have 108. So you're not even touching the surface,
Mm.
right? So, I mean, you're
Yeah.
kind of going,
Yeah.
right? So, yeah. so, so you've got the carpet, you've got the walls, you've got the water supply in the refrigerator, and the problem is that organizations, manufacturers are presenting solutions, and we think it's safe.
Mm.
We're also busy, right? It takes two people to run a home,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
That family, and a lot of times women are now no longer staying at home. They're working, and then both parents are trying to raise the kids by themselves. I mean, not by themselves, but it feels like you're by yourself sometimes.
Hmm.
And there's so much to do, and then you go to take care of yourself, right?
Hmm.
And which means checking out all the things that we're talking about, and then you're trusting the government, and you're trusting the people who are selling you these products, and you think you're okay, and you cannot trust them. I'm so sorry.
Hmm.
Trust you guys.
Exactly. And that's the idea that we
Correct.
promote the new generation to build in a way that it's healthy for people. I think
Exactly.
all developers in the future will have to build to this code because they will look bad. Anybody that doesn't add value to humanity will look bad in the next 5 years, because if you're not adding value, we're, I don't know if anybody, and I think the audience will agree, we're transitioning into a new world
Hmm.
where everything is now, people are understanding what is best for everybody. And if anybody's not doing that, it becomes a bad actor, and they will be surfacing to the top immediately, and people will be like, oh, that's the bad actor. We are here, and again, not to
I
take
heard that comment yesterday from the first time. Bad actor.
uh,
Um, at a networking event, and I was like, I love that phrase.
there it is. There
There.
it is again. There's a lot of bad actors in our construction industry,
Industry.
and they are not conscious about what these things do. And
Yeah.
like you said, sometimes doctors don't know. They're educated by a system that only sees one side of the human capacity. And I think it's the same with the industry of builders. They see the business model of the numbers, but that's not enough to justify that we don't build something healthy for people. There's got to be consciousness in our business plan that addresses the way that people live and the health in their house.
Correct.
Yes. I want to explain to the community how important this is. And I also want to explain to them who you are. Both of you are. Armando's a little bit stronger at this point in his ability to hear consciousness. Anita, you hear consciousness as well, but we were just activating a few things. But I want to explain this not only in healthy homes, but also like what I do, which is why we yoke, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I had a client come here last minute who presented with a situation with inflammation, right, on his skin. And he got caught in some weeds outside, right? If I was a medical doctor and I followed the status quo, I would have given him a cream and sent him on his way. And he would have suffered for a very long time. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But because I'm guided by God, by spirit, I was able to access the subconscious mind, right? And find out that this happened for his ascension, for his learning, to release a deep-seated anger issue from the age, like, I don't know, I think it was 4 years old. Okay. Now I want to talk to you about Armando and Anita. They have a higher calling. And are they in the same industry as me? No. In a way they are. It's called the God job. Right? And so the higher calling that we call to, the three of us, is to hear spirit and to do his work. And I got that clear with Anita. I got that clear with Armando, right? And they both hear God. They both hear God. And they both follow him. And so those are the people that I align with in this current paradigm. Neither Anita or Armando are people pleasers on any level. They are God pleasers on all levels. And that's what makes them trustworthy. I never have to second guess. I never have to know where their heart's at. I don't have to worry about anything because I know who they follow. So if they're following God, we don't have to worry, do we? Because we all know we're on the same team.
That's
Absolutely.
beautiful.
Thank you for that.
Oh yeah, it's a big deal.
Yeah. And again, that's why we're very advocates, about or advocating for people out there, for families out there.
Mhm.
Because a lot of times, they don't know any better. They just think a home is a home, and trust in builders and developers out there, that their home are being built in a safe way. Their sanctuary.
Yeah, and I'll tell you that, I was at this meeting yesterday with in the real estate community and building community, and I spoke to a gentleman of one of the Atlanta magazines. So they have like 4 or 5 different magazines, and I think it's let me just muscle. Yeah, yeah. So his name is Clint Smith. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant man, right? And he understands sustainability. He understands healthy living. And, he wants to talk about that in his magazines, or one of I don't know which one, but I mean, they have 5. And because he said that when he grew up, he had real food.
Hmm.
And I said, so your dad wasn't using chemicals? He said, no. He goes, he had like Idaho potatoes and all this stuff. And he said, but we just use natural things. I'm like, wunderbar.
Mm-hmm.
But it's almost unheard of at this point, right? And what most people he knew Most people are unaware that the chemicals that we have approved for our use in the United States of America are banned in other countries.
Hmm.
How does that make you feel?
Very true.
How does that make you feel?
You know,
Gosh.
I want to say, going to what you said, and I wanted to thank you. And it's a privilege to have connected with you in the divine connecting us together. It is a privilege to do a spiritual work and to do healing work. We have been fortunate to impact thousands of people through ministry and through life. We are here to serve. I feel like that's the highest calling, which is to be a servant, and we are dedicated to this vision, and we are mission driven in what we see as the future,
Yep.
and giving back. I think if we're to be honest, um, it's a great thing to be a developer. I know that, I'm not going to say that I did not think about, wow, this is going to be a great opportunity, and it's going to create a lot of abundance and a lot of ability to do different things of business. I grew up loving business, learning about business. My dad was in business. My brothers have been in business, um, and that's exciting and all. But at the end of the day, I believe that we lose our focus as humans, that we're here for a mission.
Hmm.
We're here to do something. We're here
To make a
to
difference.
make a difference in something that could impact the world, and that has been stolen from people. People have been thinking that they have no power, that they have no say so, that their voice is unheard. But the truth is that everybody's voice is powerful, and each of us, God is every day putting your purpose in front of you. And sometimes we fail to see that, or maybe we fail to plan for that perfect plan that God wants for us. And so, what this feels like to us, it's excitement. And I'm going to tell you something that I've never shared before, but as as learning about what we're doing, it has not been great. It sounds beautiful, but it comes with sacrifices. We have to, sacrifice of ourselves, of our
Hmm.
time, of our money, and believing in something that nobody's built before, or people that have tried and failed. And we get that sometimes, say, oh, some people have tried to build these type of houses and they haven't made it. What makes you think that you're going to be successful? I said it's very, very simple. Number one, the market is ready for these houses. People are sicker than ever. And number two, we can build them at scale at a price that's competitive, so people will pay a little extra, but will not be overcharged for anything. And number three, it takes somebody that doesn't give up. And one of the things that we have as people that love to give, and that want to die with dignity and with a purpose that says, wow, we died and we did all of that. I want to die saying that we did something meaningful. And that's what wakes us up every morning.
Yeah.
And literally, we are excited to meet the next person that's going to help us and in making this a reality, because what makes it real is when we believe, and we believe wholeheartedly, that this is going to change many people's
Many
lives.
lives.
And it's a different way to minister.
Huge. Yeah, huge, huge, huge.
We've ministered heart to heart. We've been there hand by hand.
Yeah.
We've been in the hospitals. We've been in the churches. We've been in the
Funerals.
celebration, in the funerals. We've been everywhere. And, this is a way to give back in a way that we never have. And my life, my heart is to create philanthropic things that help other people. As Anita said, from people for people, it's our motto. We are here to help one another. I think Zero Energy Developments will impact communities in ways that they see. It'll impact developers, but it also impact communities. People that live in our communities will say, I love these Zen homes or the Zen communities, because they really address everything. And
It's about leaving a legacy
leaving a legacy.
once we're not here anymore.
I tell people three things. You were born, you're living, and you're going to die. There's no skipping.
No escaping and no
So
skipping any
if
of
you
that.
can hear
And I
me,
used to say the only thing you could guarantee was death and taxes, but I'm hearing some of the taxes are going away. So I'm not sure,
yeah,
uh,
you're if you can hear me, you're right in the middle. You already did number one, you're in the middle of number two, and then that number three, it's coming. So why not do something meaningful, something that literally can consume your days and your energy, and it's gonna create
Give
more
back.
energy. You know, as you give, you receive. So
Exactly.
giving is receiving.
yeah, and I agree. Like for me, as you know, I've launched my corporate wellness program, and we're bringing it. I met some very cool people who are bringing them to. I thought the first company that would be onboarded would have 36,000 employees. I was wrong. It's going to be about 250,000, but
Wow.
we're working on it. I don't want to be cocky. We're working on it, and it's not even being cocky. It's who we're serving, right?
Yep.
And the thing is that um, the program is affordable. It ties in exactly with what you're doing. I've already spoken and explained what you're doing prior to even meeting you. That's the divination in it, right? And then here you are creating it.
Yeah.
Because, and a lot of people don't even know that when you're neutralizing electromagnetic frequencies, which your homes, I believe, will be doing as well. It's a two-prong approach. You can't. A lot of people are neutralizing the frequencies that come into the house, and some people are only neutralizing the frequencies that are wired into the house. And some people aren't even thinking about the land and the faults that's built on. And so there are many components to neutralizing electromagnetic frequencies. And you can't just plug into the wall and neutralize the house and expect that you've done it. It doesn't work that way, because you've got the 5G towers out there. It's coming in. You've got your next door neighbor. They've got Wi-Fi, and we're all using the technology. And I like using my technology.
Yeah.
We just need to deploy it with responsibility, right?
100%. 100%. I wish we could see the lines of the communications, and then I was having this epiphany today when I was driving, and I was in an elevated highway where you could see all the other cars in different highways passing through, and I'm like, man, imagine if you could see the signal of the satellites of all everybody coming in. The car has a satellite signal, the people have a satellite signal, your watch has a satellite signal. I mean, there's all kinds of things happening that we don't even see.
Do you
We're
see the watch
blinded.
on my wrist? Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Do you know I wore a watch like that? I don't know if it was Fitbit or Apple. It doesn't matter. I wore a Bluetooth watch during my health journey, or sick journey, when I was reclaiming my health, and I had already reversed arthritis. Okay, and I put on this watch, and my arthritis comes back.
Wow.
Why? It was clumping the red blood cells. So now the flow of energy isn't going through because I'm wearing a smartwatch. And what is arthritis anyway? It's a nutrient deficiency and a lack of blood flow. I mean, to truncate it very small, but yeah.
Right.
So look, people, you don't need all the bells and whistles. You actually need way less, right?
Yeah.
You don't need to measure every little last step that you take. Actually, your phone will do that for you anyway. And people just have this false, and I say this knowing I was this person. Okay, I started being this person. I had a false sense of security that the doctors and the lawyers and the government people were all doing things for my highest good. Do you see that they're all doing it for our highest good, or do you see it differently?
Oh no, most definitely. There is a discrepancy between reality and what people say we should be doing. Our systems. I'm luckily from Puerto Rico. I am happily have been born there, and I migrated into the mainland in 1990. I have seen the transition of this and how we have a separation of what we need from what we're actually doing. There is the forefathers created a beautiful system, but one that doesn't know how to auto rebuild itself because they didn't know like everything decays with time, right? Everything deteriorates with time. And
Except for my body.
so except for your body, everything deteriorates. So our systems need to be revised and need to be reconsidered, reevaluated, readjusted, if you will. And you know, I feel that the world in the state that is at in such a alarming and critical state in
Yeah.
so many areas, it's going to cause a obligation to fix things or to make things better. And so I see the negative coming as a positive thing because it will force us to change to the best next thing, and eliminate the ignorance in which we're operating in, or the old way that we did
Old
it, which
mentality.
made sense at the time that it was instituted, but right now it needs to be rebuilt.
It absolutely the current model doesn't work in a lot of the areas here in the United States. And what I am grateful for is that we're all on the same team, right? Uh, uh, Somehow God brought us together, not just you and I, right, the three of us, but
Mhm.
people from all over the country, right?
Mhm.
Yes,
There you go.
100%. We have an organization called Sustainability Ambassadors
Collective
Collective
International.
International. And what it represents is people that have sustainability in different aspects of, not necessarily just in construction, but anything that represents sustainability. And that comes in three different factors. The way we look at it, sustainability as an individual, you must be sustainable. You must be able to control your own self and be able to have your own guidance and your own peace and your own understanding. The second level is sustainability in
In relationship.
relationships. How well you do is how well you can do with others. And then the third level, it's with businesses. So having sustainable businesses, meaning relationships inside your organization, how you work with your people, how well you can execute. SASE has gathered professionals from different industries, Owen being one of them, you
Mhm.
being one of them,
Mhm.
people that can understand what we need in the future that we can apply now. Not going by the old, but understanding that we're going into a
Where we're
better,
headed.
newer understanding of how we
Oh
do
yeah,
things.
all day. And then you guys, you were on Cheddar TV, is that right?
Yes, we
Yes,
were.
that's exciting. We were just there to like this week
It just aired,
and last week.
yeah, last week, and then it re-aired on Monday, and then they re-aired it again on Tuesday. So we were blessed that they re-aired it back to back.
So what I thought, and forgive me because I'm going on to Cheddar right now,
Hmm.
I thought that it was always like you could always go catch the replay. Is that not true?
They might have it listed on there, but I have the link that I can always share, and I've been sharing it on my platforms as well.
Yes,
But
please.
but
Please, yeah,
it
share in the
we
private chat and I'll put it in there for you.
perfect, perfect.
And
And it was on the Go Fund Yourself show, so
mhm.
Shark Tank style for those that don't know what that is. But it was Go Fund Yourself. So we were had the opportunity and blessed enough to fly out to California to record and present zero energy developments to the Titans, as well as to the viewers. and people that want to invest and learn more about who and what zero energy developments are and what we're doing. So that will re-air again. But if you go on cheddar.com, you should be able to look up the show.
Yeah, I
And
did not do a good job at that. Are you able to share the link with me in our private chat?
I absolutely will.
Yeah, and then I will, and then I'm also just going to take, I mean, we have all the information scrolling on the screen on how to get in touch with Anita and Armando. But what I'm also going to do is in the comments, I'm going to share that link. I know that they're still looking for funding. They're looking for the right partners. If you think that you're one of their partners or someone who can in some way um, collaborate and to the mission, I mean, then by all means, I want you to reach out. It's zendevhomes.com, and then this is for the show. These links are all in the thread, so you can get these with ease and grace. Just click that sucker. uh, Boom, shakalaka.
I
uh,
love it. Love it.
yeah. And is there anything that you're looking for right now? Are there any partners that are missing in terms of suppliers or something you're looking for in particular? Or
Right now, we are actually studying different potentials with the city in the land that we have, showing different potential setups. We are building with the idea that we can preserve the way the land is. So we don't just,
Respecting Mother Nature
respecting the way
and
the
the
land
universe.
is. So we don't just try to tear up and then build. We're actually finding the way that in a community, instead of just doing everything centered and symmetrical, we may actually do the opposite. We'll build
thank
the
you.
community to one area, and that way there's a green space that could be utilized for the communities.
Yeah.
So the that's the idea behind it. We build with the design of the communities, thinking of Mother Nature and respecting Mother Nature in the way that we touch her.
And also the community aspect as far as the bond, the human touch. Back in the days, and we say this all the time, I used to play out in the street with my neighbors,
Mhm.
with the other kids in the neighborhood, and ride on the sidewalk and play hopscotch and ride our bikes and our big wheels, and sit on the grass and just play patty cake, like just all kinds of.
Right, patty cake bakers.
Yeah, right. So we want to bring that back. We want to have families interacting with one another, the children interacting with one another, to have a bike path within the community
And
where
not
you
have
can walk,
boring.
where you can, yeah. So that's something that's kind of been lost, and we're going to bring it back.
Well, thank God for that. Let me touch on, presently most developers will flatten out the entire, all the trees, right? And I don't know if you know how empathic I am, but when I first drove, one of the first few times that I drove to Georgia before I moved here, I passed by some trees that had been taken down, and the trunks were still there, and I could feel their pain.
Mm.
And so, conscious living is more than just not littering in the street, right?
Mhm.
What you described is real conscious living.
Mm.
We have to work within the constraints of what of where we live. And if we're going to make our homes sacred space, which they should all be, that means that the land that you build on needs to be viewed as sacred space as well.
Mhm.
I'll be the first buyer, by the way.
Mm.
Yes.
And And one thing that, we haven't mentioned, but, a lot of times when people hear how we're building our homes and that the standard is solar panels, water filtration, air filtration, battery backup capability to be off grid, you think right away like, oh my gosh, this is a home that I'm not going to be able to afford, as a human and with a family. But our homes, that's why we're building them at scale, because we want to pass on the savings to the families
Reduce the price.
and reduce the price. So we are keeping our homes between, again, the 460s, maybe 550s, starting at 3 bedrooms, 2 bathroom, ranch style homes. And it can go up to 4 bedrooms.
Doing ranch style? I didn't know that.
Yes, well, we're doing ranch style.
That's that's my gig. I always want. I love ranch, right?
Yes.
Like, it's
I'll tell you something more that you'll love.
okay.
All our doors are ADA compliant, so that you can have a wheelchair and access everywhere in the house. So sometimes right now only the main doors are the ones that are accessible for some of the wheelchairs. All our openings are made so that if you are in a wheelchair, you can maneuver inside of the house.
Okay, and I'm going to be sassy. And if you need to get the couch through that door, it'll work.
Yes. Absolutely.
That big piece of furniture that you have to take apart, now you don't got to take it apart anymore.
You don't have to play Tetris and try to get it down the stairs and through the,
You can scratch that wall now.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, but that's important.
Yeah.
Like again, these things
Big
add
deal.
up.
Yeah.
All our appliances are very energy efficient, as well as the doors and the windows. We utilize things that save electricity and that make sense for the homes. The insulation is very heavily packed, so that again, our houses can reduce electricity costs from up to 60-70% what you're normally.
Well, not only that, I don't know that people understand. I don't know. We didn't ask, but I mean, I prefer gas stoves. Because we are electricity, right? We're electricians, and so we really want to use the most minimum amount of electricity possible, because it does affect us both emotionally and physically. And what a lot of people are unaware of is that when electricity was being created and tested, it's Edison, right? Or is that the light bulb? I don't know. But his wife died during that process, but because her body couldn't handle the frequencies.
Mm.
And nobody connected the dots until decades later. I saw the movie about it. And it resonates as true to me, right? Because if we can heal with the right frequency, we can also unheal with the wrong frequency. And I typically don't have lights on at the house because I try to, I don't want all of that. And so I think we can look at life doing more with less. When's the last time you had dinner by candlelight? Right?
Yeah.
Just the other night.
Well, I know with you were amazing. So it's just about that time. I want to thank you for coming to the show, sharing your wisdom, sharing your vision. If there's anybody who watches this, even on the replay, and you want to reach out, I know that they're still looking for investors. So, I mean, you've had many investors, but we're at the next phase, right? How do you want people to reach out to you? You want to share so they can hear it versus see it?
Yeah, they can reach out to us directly at our emails, Anita, ANITA, at zeroenergydev.com, or Armando at zeroenergydev.com. Feel free to visit our website as well, as listed on the panel there. Check us out, and I invite you to join us. Join forces, and let's build this legacy together. Let's leave a legacy.
Yes. And thank you. And then I'll just plug in, if you want to really do a deeper dive on how these environmental toxins are impacting your well-being. I have a corporate lifestyle program. It's endorsed by world leaders in brain health, neuroscience, natural health, psychology, quantum. Basically, if they're cool, they endorse it.
I love it.
That excellent. This is
And
the right place.
what's
That's
that?
right.
I said this is the right place to come and get your healing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you. God bless you guys,
Thank you so much.
and we will. You can watch this show. It'll be aired. Well, it's live now, but it'll also be distributed on every podcast channel. So it would only be the audio on the podcast, but it'll also be on Rumble, as well as on Facebook and YouTube. So and LinkedIn. Yeah, LinkedIn's got it.
Wow,
Awesome.
excellent.
All
Great
right.
job.
Thank
Thank
you so much.
you.
Very blessed, and God bless everyone out there.
Thank you.